Can I just mention that
yes.
the thing that I don't hear on this forum is the environment.
Yep.
And to me, the world has caught up with Waitakere, I might say. Really, and we've got such great advocates here, Sandy and Susie and Mel's. I think Waitakere is going to remain in great shape. There's such energy there. 5,000 volunteers for the Twin Streams project alone. Not bad. They're not going to go away. But that has not caught on in Auckland. I don't know about this forum here. But, you know, when I talk to other mayors in other cities, you see that commitment to sustainability and the environment. Melbourne is a classic example of that, what they're doing there. We can't even go on our waterfront. I looked out the other day at Sir Ron, you know, from Deloitte's. The wharves are just crammed with Japanese imports. What? And on Queen's Wharf, 2 people on a beautiful winter's day. 2 people were walking around Queen's Wharf. That's nonsense. There isn't a city in the world that would have such a glorious harbour and nobody will. Oh, Wellington. I suffer very badly from Wellington envy. You know, they got it right. We've got a red fence with locks and they've been like that for 50 years. I've lived here for 70 years nearly. Never walked on the wharf.
But let me tell
I'm made to go and drink down the viaduct.
About
I
the
don't want to drink
Wellington
down
story,
the viaduct.
Bob, because although we can admire and should admire and compliment Wellington for they've developed their waterfront. You remember in 1983, the government had to change the powers of the port,
Oh, sure.
who owned all the land there and were in the process of selling it for commercial purposes. And a few residents, this is why I commend it to you and the people that are expressing their fears and concerns. You probably undervalue the strength of your arguments. Just a few Wellingtonians said, we are not going to accept our waterfront land becoming just an extension of our high-rise office building framework.
Yeah, sure.
And they got the government to change the structure of the port company, which previously had been representing the export-import interests of the whole province, and the port members of the port's board were people from Fielding and Levin and Lower Hutt and people that didn't live in the city and didn't understand what that harbour front could be. They got the government to change the structure of the port board. They gave the city council a majority representation on the port board, and suddenly everything else changed, and the port then said, well, we are not going to just sell our assets for highest value. So please compliment Wellington for everything that they did. But remember, they were in exactly the same political captive that
why
we've got
have
in
we
Auckland.
been so behind in all of that? And even the Wellington weather got better when they did that. So, I mean, what has kept us, you know, that's more your world than mine, for like 40 years where we've never been. It took America's Cup to clean up the viaduct, which is great, and the Jellicoe development is fantastic. But they ain't talking about a Guggenheim down there. They're just talking about Telecom and ASB head offices. So bloody what?
That's our challenge, Bob.
Yeah.
Because we could have our own Champs-Élysées, our own Ramblas in Barcelona. We could have the best boulevard in the South Pacific cities.
I think we can.
That extends all the way from the Britomart right across Viaduct Harbour. There's a bridge going to be there within 12 months that will take you across onto the Wynyard Point development. The city's building a $33 million event centre there. There's going to be tree-lined boulevard that you'll be able to go to market shopping and so forth on the fishing wharf. We are in the process of just transforming this. And why has that?
All done without the Supercity, I might.
And all done without the Supercity. All done because of people deciding, Graham, that's what they wanted to see. And so we can actually do that. The fears that have been expressed about what might be lost here expresses a value statement that is hugely important. But I think you would be selling yourself short if you thought that those values were only your own. I've talked to a lot of people about the Eco-City. I've talked to some of the people that are standing for the council, from your council, that are stunning people. they're strong enough to actually bring the eco-city values into the whole region. And I know there's lots of people in the other cities that feel the same way. So if we can work at it with a good, positive, constructive view, we can bring the best of each of the cities, because they've all got aspects which are of very great value. That's our challenge, to not lose those values and to select and elect the right people to our councils who have that ability to demand the respect and the trust of Auckland as a whole.
No one over 60 should be elected.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm serious, and I mean it.
That's a challenge.
I'm going to go there first, and then 2, and then 3. Okay. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Andrea Rush. I'm a Point Chevalier resident and grew up in Titirangi. My grandfather was out there 70 years ago before the roads were built. So I see myself as tūranga waiwai, and I'm very concerned. I think my biggest concern is the fact that I don't see leadership. I see Brown and Banks, and they scare me majorly. This whole Prince's Wharf thing has got me very, very impassioned. You know, the architects standing up, seeing the vision, that incredible program on Sunday with Mike Maserati, talking about what our waterfront could be and how incredible, you know, that space is down there, and he's run these international events. You know, we are, the people are speaking here. 21 architects have stood up, and yet the leadership of Auckland City is, and the government, is talking about building a temporary shed out of plastic and glass that, what, are people going to drink beer out of cups, and what's the future there? Now, this is an opportunity that we have that we need to take, and I feel incredibly helpless about the leadership that is in place at the moment, the people that are standing up and saying they want to be mayor. I'm a young Aucklander, not that young, I'm middle-aged actually, and I don't, Bob, I want you, but I know you can't go for it. You know, well, you're not going for it. But I want the younger version of you, the person with the vision, and the leadership that we need.
Would you like to pick?
Mini Bob.
Well, I want someone like Bob standing up for our mayor, and my concern is we can say that the layers beneath it are there, but in the end, we need the leader. And where is that leader? And I think that is the fear that everyone is feeling at the moment. They can't see the leader. And that's the scary thing, I think, for probably most of us. So we need some people to stand up. We need some new blood to stand up. You know, the way I see it is that Banks has got the strongest campaign. He's already the mayor of Auckland City. And I just feel that there's just going to be this bankrolling thing. And suddenly he's going to be in there and he's going to have the whole control. And we will end up just with him. Well, there's a lot of discontent about him. And who else have we got? You know, this is the fear.
Sounds like you've talked yourself into a candidacy.
I'll be a campaign manager.
Lady in front of you, thanks.